Hello everyone, this is Amrit. Welcome back to the channel. This video is the continuation of our movie booking application series, and in this video we are going to set up our request validator, and we'll also set up global error handler to manage our all errors. So without any further delay, let's jump into the code. In the previous video, we created our movie module in which we created controller, interface, models, route, and services. Okay, so let's set up our request validator. So when you are creating movie, you have to send this title, description, duration, genre, release date. Okay, so this data you have to send from the client side. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to validate these things. Okay, if someone tried to write some number in this title place, then we have to display some error according to that. Okay, so let's set up the request validator. So first of all, go to the movie module, and inside this create a file movie.validation.ts. Okay, so I already have created this, so you have to create in yours. And inside this validation file, you have to create a movie schema, and that is a jod object. Okay, so j is imported from jod j.object, and inside this you have to write all the properties that you are going to pass. Okay, so first of all, that is title, this is a string, and minimum that is 1. Okay, and title is required, description. So these are the validations, like rating, the minimum is 0 and maximum is 10. Okay, so user can rate it from 0 to 10. Okay, so this is the validation. So just pause the video and write in your codes. Okay, now just export that. Okay, go to the middlewares, and inside middleware you have to create a file validate.ts. Okay, and inside this validate method you have to pass the parameter, that is schema, that is a jod object that we created in our validation. Okay, this movie schema we will pass in this schema. Okay, now request, response, and next. And inside this function I have written try catch block. Inside try I just wrote here schema.parse request.body. Okay, so this is the data coming from the client side, and this is a schema that we defined here. Okay, and based on the fields, this schema will validate that request. Okay, and after doing this, just write next here to proceed with the further middleware. Okay, so this is the validate function. Now let's go to the route.ts, movie.route.ts, and before this movie controller, you have to write like this: validate movie schema. Okay, now I think you got it, how to validate a request. And if you don't get it, just ping me in the comment, I will definitely explain you. Okay, so this is done. Now it's time to set up our global error handler. Okay, so let me explain you what is a global error handler and how it works. Okay, so basically global error handler is a centralized error management file in which we are going to pass on the error, and that global error handler will manage the error and show the error in a very simple and good manner. Okay, let me explain you the flow of the error handler and how it works. Okay, so this is the error handler flow. Okay, so first of all, client send the request, then it goes to router. Okay, so this is this router. Okay, and then in between router and request handler, this is our request handler, this is router, and in between there is a middleware. Okay, so currently the middleware here is validate. Okay, in some private routes there is a middleware to verify token. Okay, so whenever the request goes to request handler, then if any error occurs in request handler, then we can send it to global error handler by writing next error. Okay, and if not, then we will send that response to the client. Okay, so let me show you how I did is go to the create movie, and inside you can see that in try block you have written this: if we encounter any error, just pass on the error. Okay, through this you can pass the error to global error handler. Okay, so this is how error handler works. Now let's set up the error handler. Okay, just create a file error.middleware.ts in middleware folder. Okay, and now just follow me, I will explain you. Okay, so here create a function global error handler, and this will take error. Data type is unknown, request response, and last one is next. Okay, now let's import this request response as well. Okay, now inside this global error handler, first of all we have to define some variables, that is for default response. Okay, status code is 500, and let message something went wrong, and let errors. Inside this we have to create two properties, that is field, that is a string type, and one is message, that is also a string type. Okay, and this error can be an array. Okay, now here I have to write jod error handling. Okay, so just write here error instance of jod, then just write status code equal to 400, and message is validation error, and error here is just write error dot errors dot map, and here just write release the dot path dot join, and here just message is e dot message. Now error is gone, just import this dot error. Okay, now after this is the default response. If the error is instance of jod, then this if block will execute, and for other errors, else if error is instance of error, then just write here message whatever error dot message. Okay, now after that just write here response dot status code dot json, and here just write success is false, and messages and error. Okay, so just write here errors because this will make it confused. Okay, so this is done. Now let's go to the app.ts, and here you have to import the global error handler. Okay, so after this all the routes you have to import the global error handler like this, app.use global error handler. Okay, then it will work, otherwise it will not work. Okay, now let's test our movie module API. Okay, just close everything and start our server. Okay, so database connected, listening to port 9000. Now open your Postman. If you don't have, please install it to test our APIs. Okay, so I already have the endpoints here. You can create it. This is BMS environment variable. Inside this you can see that I passed localhost 9000, and this is the endpoint. Okay, from here you can create a new environment variable and pass on it. Okay, now I'm going to create movie. Okay, I'm going to test my post API. Okay, so this is the dummy data, and everything is written. Language, let's write here language Hindi, English. Okay, now let's send it. Okay, you can see that data movie is created here, and this data is coming from database. Okay, so it is working. Now let's check that validation is working or not. So here rating is 7.2. If I pass here a string, now let's send it. Yeah, I can see that validation error, rating expected number, received string. Okay, so our validation is working fine. Okay, now let's test our get API. Just copy this ID and here write. Okay, you can see that our get API is also working. Okay, and if I just remove this and send the request, then I will get an array of movies. Okay, so you can see that we got the array of movies. Okay, so our movies module is working fine. So that's all for this video. In the next video we will create our theater modules, show modules. Okay, so thank you for watching.